Welcome to Celebrity Interviews with Paul. Today I have with me Sir John Hoopingarner. Sir John, I met in Switzerland, in Egel, Switzerland, when we were part of the Sufferlandria national team training camp. I'm wearing my Sufferlandria national team casual wear shirt here. John unfortunately couldn't find his. Sir John, welcome to Celebrity Interviews.
Thanks so much, Sir Paul. It was a pretty cool, to have you asked to be on. So this is great.
Well, I am. It's always fun to talk to a fellow knight of Sufferlandria and to regale ourselves with our glorious bouts of suffering and gallons of lactic acid we have poured upon the floors of the castle. But part of the reason I wanted to talk to you was to talk about the race across the West. So some people hear about cyclists doing centuries, like English century or metric century, where you ride 60, 100 kilometers or 100 miles in a day. But the race across the West isn't quite like that. Its nickname is Raw.
Correct.
And tell us about the race, Sir John.
The race across the West is kind of like the baby sister to the race across America, which is 3,000. The race across America is 3,082 miles. The race across the West follows the first 930, give or take on the year, miles of the race from Oceanside, California, through to Durango, Colorado.
So it's short, only 930 some miles.
It's a short race. You have 92 hours to finish it. It's the cutoff. So it's 3 days, 20 hours. And I want to say it's 50,000 feet of climbing. I think, I don't remember. But
it's now you can't just sign up for that, right? You have to qualify.
Race across America, you have to qualify. Race across the West, if you finish it, is a qualifier for the race across America. But
okay.
If anybody would want to sign up for it, there's a whole lot of other races to join, like the Texas Challenge, which is a 400-mile race. There's a couple other races that are like that, the Silver State 508. There's some other ones that you would probably want to try before you sink your teeth into 900 miles. The one I did before it was the Ohio Challenge, which was a 400-mile race.
Okay. And these are supported events, right? So you have like a car behind you with stuff for you?
Yes. We have the Team Hoopy van, which carries all sorts of, 2 beds, ice, food, 3 people crew it at any one time, and during the day, like at night, it's direct follow where it's behind me. I mean, it's lights the whole time, and then during the day, it's called leapfrog, where it'll go 10 miles down the road, and I'll ride up to it. They'll hand off water bottles to me, and I'll keep going, and then they'll pass me and go on down the road. But
okay.
I'm really fortunate. I've got 8 people that help me out with the race.
Wow. I
know. Yeah. It makes it, a lot of people
dearly love you. That's a big ask.
They do. God, they don't, apparently they don't know any better, but part of it is just the adventure. It's just, it's a lot of fun. You see some cool things. You meet a lot of really cool people. And you meet a lot of people that are like, just, really supportive and helpful, but it's.
Yep. Now, but the race itself is, you start in Oceanside. It's a staggered start, so you're by yourself.
Right.
You're not allowed to draft off of other riders, right?
No.
No
if
drafting.
You get caught, they'll give you a warning, but like if you're continually drafting off of somebody, you're going to get a disqualification. Yeah.
So it's a solo ride. So do you listen to music? Do you have earpods in, that kind of thing, or what do you do for?
Not, to be honest, not usually. Occasionally I'll put on some music. Most of the time I don't. I do have a radio so I can talk to the van behind me, and sometimes they'll read like Facebook posts help a lot. A lot of the people following the dot watchers cheering on and things like that are really nice. They'll read jokes, and there's other times where I tell them, it's like, do me a favor, just shh. Tell me when I need to make my next turn. I'm just enjoying the moment right now. And,
right.
The night riding is my favorite part. I love riding at night.
Really?
Well, yeah, because it's not 120 degrees in the sun.
Well,
Arizona is hot. When they say it's hot, it's a dry heat. Yeah, you
Yeah.
like being cooked in an oven. But other than that, it's the night riding is my favorite. But there are times where I just want quiet.
Yeah, yeah. So you now you last year was your first time in the Raw, is that correct?
It was my
Is that your
second time.
Your second time in the Raw, and are you a Raw finisher yet?
Last year, I had what they call an approximate finish.
Okay, what's that mean?
I made it to Durango. I rode 916 miles.
Okay.
And along the way, I had Schirmer's neck. And if you're not familiar with that, that's where like your head goes down and you literally can't pick it up. So
Okay.
I was riding with a brace, trying to hold my head up. It wasn't painful. It's just you're running like this all the time, trying to. It was crazy. We were in the final climb into Durango, 916 miles. I blacked out. I crashed into the back of the van, and one of my crew, who happened to be a nurse, came out, got me, and just said, like, you should stop now. And I just looked at her and I said, but and surrounded by the crew, and I'm like, why are we here? What happened? I had no idea what had happened.
Yeah.
And they're just like, why don't we just go in the van now? And I just said, okay, is the bike okay? I'm gonna go lay down now. And I just went, and I was out. Yeah. It was. I went as far as I could go with what I had. Hopefully next year I want to go back. I'm going back. Been spending a lot of time working on my neck.
Okay.
A lot of time working on my neck.
Yeah. You have to do like put 5-pound bags of flour and lift them up and down with your neck?
Not quite like that, but there's some, close enough. Actually, there's this one exercise where literally like you lay on your back and you go like this, and you put like a towel underneath your neck and you go like this. Like do that.
That's a good exercise for marriage. I do that a lot.
I have found that out. Sometimes just
yeah. See, there you go.
No matter what you're thinking, just
right.
You betcha. Whatever makes you happy,
baby. Before our interview, we were kind of chatting a little bit, and I was describing your physique as not the classic climber's cyclist physique. You're a taller guy. You got bigger shoulders. You use other terms which I refuse to use because I find them, insulting to you, and I don't want to do that, Sir John. But and you do have aspirations, and you have a chance maybe of being an age group winner. You're not going to be fast enough to be an overall winner of the Raw.
Correct. There's younger people that are faster.
And even to like ride yourself into blackout to the edge, and arguably right to the edge and over the cliff a little bit. Crashing into your support vehicle. Why do you do that? What's the why?
The why, there's a couple of whys. One is I love ultra distance. I love being on my bike. And the other part is I ride for my charity, which is called Wheels for Change. It's a friend of mine. Her name's Cassie Schumacher, and she is a Ram finisher. She won her age group back in, I think it was 2014 or 15. I think. Okay. If I don't really, I can't. I'd have to look, but it was a couple of years ago, and she's actually was part of my crew last year, and she's been like kind of like a big help to me. Like on the hey, you need to do this. You need some guidance, some mentoring.
What does Wheels for Change do?
Wheels for Change is she started it because her dad was a veteran, and when he came home, he ultimately chose to be homeless, and so she found out that there's a lot of homeless veterans, and there's a lot of veterans that need help, and her belief is that like helping these guys earn a bicycle and helping support them and helping support their families can help them like deal with issues like PTSD and dealing with issues of homelessness and helping them find a job and helping them like find their way back and be an integral part of society, as opposed to so many of them end up in a lot of trouble. They end up in jail. And she works hard, and Wheels for Change is intended to help support them in order to get them back on their feet. As she always likes to say, we offer them a hand up. We do not give out we don't offer a handout. Not
Sure.
what we do, but
Sure.
so I try to raise awareness for that.
You love to raise awareness for that, and you love to just ride a long way.
I like to ride a long way. It all started when I was a kid, but it just kind of, and it was away from riding until, gosh, like, for a long, long time. And then all of a sudden it was kind of like, I just found myself at a point in my life where like, I am not going to sit on my butt doing nothing. I'm going to at least do something for myself. So I started riding a bike, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like, I did 20 miles. I bet I could do 30. I bet I could ride a metric. There's a century ride. I think I could do that.
There you go.
Hey, all of a sudden it was just like I was racking up miles, and so
yeah,
and
developed a whole new identity now.
Kind of, yeah. Like I like I had mentioned earlier, like if I had a chance to retire, so now I can finally I don't have the pressures of like trying to hey, well, 40 hours of my week is gone with work, and then you've got another 40 hours that are shot with sleeping and that, and so like now it's kind of like, wow, I would have trained for 25 hours a week. Sure, why not?
Yeah,
it's part-time. It's like my part-time job. It doesn't pay me anything, but like, hey, it's all right.
Yeah, that's all right. That's okay. Well, it sounds like you picked a good time to retire. December of 2019, I think is a highly advantageous time to retire.
It has turned out to be most propitious in the timing, because it was like, who knew how things would turn out the way they have. Well,
I am, I've ridden a few centuries. I know I bonked one time at about 105 miles of what turned out to be a 112 mile day. And I remember pedaling squares the rest of the way in, and I've trained for marathons and bonked a couple times. I remember one time I didn't stop for water for the first 10 miles of a 20 plus mile run, which was not a good move. And the last 2 or 3 miles, I remember walking home and thinking in my head I wanted to run, and trying to make my legs run, and I was not physically capable of running. And then all I could do is think about food, so.
That's the beautiful part about being on a bike is, you can easily carry, I carry anywhere from, depending on what I'm doing, anywhere from 2 to 4 bottles of water or liquid,
Sure.
Lots of a lot of ours. I go through a lot of ours. Oh,
I do gels. Yeah. I had a really bad experience with a power bar once, it was a Cliff Bar, had a little oatmeal in it, and it got like stuck to my mouth because it was a little pasty about 50, 60, 70 miles in. And I think it took me 7 miles and 3 bottles to get the rest of the like stuff out of my mouth and stop coughing. So I'm all about like gels and goos now. So
gel. I like the goos, the blocks, the chewy blocks.
The blocks. Yeah.
I like those. Not a fan. Gels usually don't sit great with my stomach. I do better. Actually, it's funny because I do better with real food. Like if I have a sandwich, I am way better off than I am.
Did you ever like ride down the road and have them deliver a pizza to you while you were riding? That would be a feat.
That would be. Ooh, I may have to try. With what? What's that one? Dine Dash or what? DoorDash.
Yeah, DoorDash. My son does that. Well, I know it was an honor to meet you through the national team training camp at Sufferfest.
That was one of the best experiences ever. Yeah,
it was phenomenal. And really, I think the kind of mental stuff and the training that the Sufferlandrian stuff gives you is, the focus and then the joy of the abuse, coupled with huge challenges, all kind of come together. And of course, knighthood, I mean, for you, it's probably a walk in the park because it's only a 12-hour day on the bike, right? But
12 hours on a trainer's, you know, I can go, you know, like I think the longest I've ridden straight on the bike outside is like 32 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll do that I'll do that every week. 12 hours on a trainer, no. It's just that I've got good mental resilience, but like, yeah, that's a tough. 12 hours on a trainer is a tough day.
The only way I made it through is I had 3 other people in the room with me the whole time, and then visitors throughout the day. So it was a group of 10, and that certainly made the day a lot better. Always good to have somebody along for the journey, right? And somebody to encourage you and pick you up, and somebody else to pick up when they're down too. So, well, we are of course in pandemic, the midst of rather different varying levels of shutdowns and openings and shutting back downs and all the rest. And it's an anxious time, and we're not able to do a lot of things we hope to do. You talked earlier about to me about some of the races you haven't been able to participate in, and then, you know, it's harder to find motivation to do things when you don't have anything to train for right away. But in the midst of all that, where do you find joy?
Waking up every day and coming downstairs, and the coffee's ready. I have milk in the fridge, and I'm just glad to wait. I'm just glad to be alive. Like, I'm just happy. Like, there's so much we already have to be grateful for. Like, and it's usually like I find joy in this. Like, it's the simple things. Like, you know, today I had, like, you know, today was an easy day. Like, it was, you know, I had a 45-minute ride, and it was just nice to be outside and just like go, wow, huh? I think yesterday I rode 100. I did 105 or something. I forget. It was just nice to spin out my legs and just go, huh, wow, wow, I have a tailwind. It's just, it's a lot of little, I think just the little things, like just not where, you know, the big picture for me is different than for most. I mean, I'm fortunate to be where I'm at in my life. So, but like, yeah, that, you know, just waking up to me is like, yeah.
That is beautiful,
get
Sir John. That is beautiful, Sir John. Thank you for sharing with Celebrity Interviews. Thank you for this, and the people at Lutheran Church of the Master. We look forward to 2021 and following your progress on the race across the West and cheering you on.
Well, I'll send you the dot. I'll send you the dot watch thingamabobber, or I'll post it or something. But yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you so much. This was so great to catch up with you. It's been ages. So
absolutely. Blessings to you, and thank you, Sir John.
Be well. Take care, Sir Paul.